Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Boston University Rheumatology Fellowship Program. My name is Sharon Tomlinson. I am the coordinator, and I would like to introduce you to our four fellows.
Hi, I'm Vagi, second-year fellow.
Hi, everyone. I'm Priyanka. I'm a first-year fellow.
Hello, my name is Pablo. I'm also a first-year fellow.
My name is Tracy James Goldberg, and I'm one of the second-year rheumatology fellows here at Boston Medical Center.
Have each of our fellows talk about aspects of fellowship, and Priyanka was going to talk about living in Boston.
So I've lived in Boston for about 4 years now. It's a great city, especially in the spring to fall. The summers are beautiful, a lot of things to do outdoors, a lot of beautiful parks. There are several different neighborhoods, and each neighborhood has its own charm. Me and my husband love eating out and trying different restaurants and bars. So there's a ton of things to do, both in Boston and in Cambridge. And if you like, outdoor activities, there are a lot of hikes that are, within like an hour's drive within the city. So I really like Boston. The two things that are not great is the winter for me. I'm from India, so not really a fan of the brutal winters that we have. And the cost of living here is more than most cities. But in saying that, it is possible to live comfortably with our fellows' salary. But depending on where you're coming from, you may be a little surprised to see the rents in Boston. So that's sort of, I really enjoy the city, have really enjoyed for the last 4 years here overall.
Great, thank you. And Pablo, you were going to talk about preparing for meetings and presentations.
Yeah, so this is something everyone has been doing throughout residency training. But I believe fellowship is a little bit more intense in the sense that we have a lot more academic responsibilities and a little bit less clinical responsibilities compared to residency training. As first-year fellows, we are on inpatient service every 2 weeks in average. Sometimes we have research blocks and stuff like that. But while we are doing inpatient service, we are supposed to present interesting cases that we've seen throughout the week on a Wednesday meeting, which is our academic day. So these presentations are usually 1 to 2 patients. One patient, we basically do a quick case presentation to get some input from the attendings, maybe because they're interesting or because they're challenging. And then the second case is usually a longer presentation, and we do an extensive literature review, which has been extremely helpful because a lot of the topics that we review are things that are new to us. And that is exactly the intent for these presentations. We review things that are new, exciting, maybe updates and things that we as fellows don't necessarily know in the beginning. I must say that it took me a while in the beginning to come up with these presentations, and it would take me several hours to prepare. But as time went by and I got a little bit more experience with researching these topics, I think they are now doable within an hour or two before the day that we need to present them. So it's been a lot of fun, and I must say I have learned a lot.
Great, thank you. And Vagi, you were going to talk about the faculty mentoring that you've been receiving.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Sharon. So one thing I absolutely love about our program is mentorship, and I think that's a very strong point for our program. Right from the beginning, our program director, Dr. Kistin, encouraged us to find both a clinical as well as a research mentor. And I think that has helped me grow much more stronger, both clinically as well as in research. Our faculty have a lot of diverse clinical interests as well as research interests, and have a strong credentialing and sort of research background behind them. And that helps us in coming up with a lot of new ideas. They always encourage us to as well. In the beginning of the year, they also give us a series of lectures where the faculty talk about their specific interests and any projects that they have available for them. And they tell us that any opportunities that fellows can also participate in, which I think is very helpful, especially as a new fellow coming into the program and trying to understand what research opportunities are available for me. And then every Tuesday, we also have something like a research accelerator meeting that brings together people not only from clinical medicine, but also from basic science, as well as biostatistics. So there's a lot of opportunities for collaboration and mentorship from other departments and other fields as well. I think one other thing that I found very helpful for faculty is just letting them know if you do have a particular interest in a particular field. For example, my particular interest is in psoriatic arthritis. And once I did let them know, once I figured out that that's what I wanted to do and that's what my interest was, I felt that faculty were very encouraging. They thought of a lot of different opportunities that were available for me that I wouldn't have found on my own, as well as, showed me different things that I could do in terms of clinical medicine, or like referred patients to me specifically for clinical medicine, which I thought was great. So I've greatly enjoyed every clinical and research mentorship I've had in this program.
Department here at Boston Medical Center consists of a very supportive team headed by our chief, Professor Neoji, who I should say is one of the most compassionate individuals I'm yet to meet. When I think of really our team, the word family really comes to mind, actually. We have an excellent fellowship coordinator, Sharon, who really has been phenomenal in her role of providing not just administrative support, but I think we really, as fellows, think of her more as a mother figure. And she's really been supportive to us in so many ways, and we really appreciate her. She really has done a phenomenal job at the helm of our fellowship program. Sharon, I don't know what we'd do without you. Our faculty, both senior and juniors alike, are really very approachable. They're dynamic, and they're really in tune to the needs of fellows. Really, it's an open door policy here. And, I just, in thinking back throughout my 2 years here, and just to give an example, one of my current clinic attendants and mentors, Dr. Lejour, we've developed a relationship over the years where her office is really open to me at any time. I've never had to make an appointment. I can go in at any hour when she's there to talk really about anything, and she'll make the time. She always has a listening ear, whether it be something personal, career related, or a difficult case. And this really stands true for any of our faculty here. I think we're really privileged in having that kind of support. It's really very easy to choose a mentor, and we really have the option as well to choose multiple. And I think a lot of us, most of us have multiple mentors. And that allows us to really have varied collaboration, which is important in really finding our niche in the fellowship program. Our clinic support staff, really excellent, from our clinic managers, front desk, nurses, MAs. They're always available, in my experience, to ensure a smooth flow of what I consider to be a rather busy practice here at BMC. And in my job search, I've actually used our practice as a gold standard for what I'm looking for when I complete my training. Another really great highlight is that we have our own clinical pharmacist who has been instrumental in our day-to-day patient care. But also, I think this unique is that we collaborate with us in our fellowship QI projects. I'm not sure how many other programs actually has this opportunity, and we're really privileged to have that here. In the 2 years that I've been in my training here at BMC, I've seen where our department truly embodies the cornerstone values of this institution, and that's delivery of excellent care without exception. We're staunch advocates of our very diverse patient population. As a unit, I just want to reiterate that we're not just a team, we are family. BMC has superseded my expectations of a fellowship program. I will truly miss my time here.
Wonderful, thank you. Normally we would be talking about how it is to work in the fellow's office all together, but obviously this has been the year of COVID and we've all been remote and separate. Does anybody want to talk about the experience for the past year?
I can talk a little bit about it. I think when COVID hit, we were all in a place where we didn't know how to respond or how we were going to proceed and take care of our patients, do our research, and how our learning was going to be affected. And one thing I have to say is the faculty were very this thing about making sure our learning was not cut short in any way. So while we did have a lot of transition to telephone clinics and telemedicine, it was we as fellows always had clinical patients that we saw in person, that we were seeing and examining, which I think is very important in rheumatology, but to actually see patients, which is what we did. And I thought that was really helpful in terms of my learning. There was also a lot of support our faculty offered. We used to have regular Zoom meetings between us where we would just talk about issues that had come up or things that we just wanted to vent about, which I thought was just absolutely just great from the faculty that we could have that sort of communication.
Started initially, one thing that I appreciated was we didn't have, as first years, none of our training was telemedicine. All of our clinics were in person, and obviously consults is in person. So this whole year, I haven't had a single telemedicine visit. So that is something I really appreciated because, as Wagi said, you need to do, rheumatology is a field where physical exam is very important, in addition to just building patient rapport and developing a relationship with your patients. So that's something I really enjoyed. I have missed all of 4 fellows hanging out in the same office. Because I did my residency at BMC too. So I used to see how the fellows were chatting and hanging out in the office all day, but that's something we have missed this year because we only use the office when we are on consults, and the rest of the time we usually work remotely. When we are not in clinic, I mean. So I hope for next year that won't be a problem since we are all vaccinated, and hopefully we'll be back in the office. But that's sort of what is my experience this year.
Surprising in many ways. I think I am privileged to be able to share my time with such amazing faculty, and the research opportunities are certainly fantastic. And I think everyone supports the program and encourages you to keep on learning in a way that makes everything a lot of fun.
The training program in the United States, I think we can certainly relate that this pandemic has been one of the greatest challenges that we've faced and will be for a long time. You know, our chief, Professor Nyogi, and our program director, Dr. Kissin, were very instrumental at the beginning of the pandemic in ensuring that our training was not significantly impacted. And, you know, with this, we were able to maintain our outpatient clinic, even though we were operating at a decreased level. Why did I stop? I'm gonna do it again. I'm sorry. I didn't practice this over the weekend because I was on call.
Okay, you're doing great. It's okay.
1 minute and we'll be done. Okay. As with any training, that this pandemic has been one of the greatest challenges that we've faced so far and will be for a long time to come, I think. Our chief, Professor Nyogi, and our program director, Dr. Kissin, were very instrumental in ensuring that our training as fellows was not significantly impacted during this time period. We were able to maintain our outpatient clinic, even though we were operating at a reduced level. We had increased didactics, and we also had increased research time to make up for this. Our second year fellows at the time also played an integral role as part of the ID COVID task force and helped in making decisions regarding use of biologic therapy in COVID patients. And they at the time really admitted that it was truly beneficial for them. And so I really appreciated the support that our program gave us during this difficult time.
Thank you all. And we look forward to you new fellows joining us, and take care and be safe.